Okay, so we are partly live, and I'm here alone, as you can see. I'm not sure if anyone is here in the chat room. I saw that John Gord just entered 5 minutes ago. So if you're here, if you can hear me, if you can see me, just text me, please. And Datura is now undergoing some difficulties, some technical difficulties, which might be solved now. Something's going on here. Okay, that looks good. Ooh, okay. How much data do you have? That's good. That's good. Okay, so if we can officially start, or shall we wait for a few minutes if it freezes again? Okay, let's start. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to our garden, to the garden of Femme Occult, and I'm Belladonna, and here with me today is Datura. I would like to, on the beginning, to thank to all our followers that started following us since we started this stream, and since we. Oh, okay. Since we started this Twitch account actually and activated it, and yeah, so hello, Datura, how are you keeping?
Hello, I'm hopefully good. Hopefully, I will not be freezing anymore.
Yeah, hopefully there won't be any technical difficulties. Plus, on my side, it's a little bit of battle with the Tooth Fairy, with our little one. So, in case that I have to leave for a minute, just please stay tuned. We figured some kind of break screen. So, if that jumps on, then give us a few minutes, please. Okay, so for today, we have a topic of knowledge that we want to chat about because it's a topic that is connected to our spring issue. And this stream is going to be in English. We are planning, of course, some streams as well in Czech language in our other language in which we are printing. But yeah, today it will be this way. We decided that if you will have any kind of questions, that we will not be waiting with them for the end, but we will try to answer them during the stream straight away. So if you have any questions, just let us know in the chat room. And I think that that would be for the very beginning. Maybe we could actually just briefly mention what is actually Femme Occult, who we are, what we are doing, if you would like to.
Okay, Femicult is many things. First of all, it's a quarterly that comes out every 3 months. We write about magic, spirituality, occult themes, mysticism, and everything that's connected. And each issue has its own like broader topic that comes together in the year in the form of a printed hand-bound book. And we also have Patreon, where we have all our
I
all
have it
our
always with me.
all our content in an online format. We also do ritual packages to go along with the writings that we do,
Mm-hmm.
that are usually connected to the topics that we delve into in each issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were last time talking here about our ritual packages, which led me also to one note on the knowledge in our list, in our guidelines that I prepared. So I might be just looking time to time here under the screen to just keep it all slightly organized. Okay, so will we jump right into knowledge? What does it mean for us? And so on. Would you like to start?
Again.
Again, you're always starting. I think that this setup of me asking questions that I have prepared and you're talking, it's working very, very well.
For you, maybe.
Okay. Next time, next question I'll answer first. I promise.
No. I will start. It's fine. Well, generally, knowledge is, by definition, I think it's ungraspable. It's something
Mhm.
that one is aware of in their being as being true, but truth is inherently subjective. So I think the first question one must ask themselves, what is real knowledge, or what is true knowledge in general,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's something that you believe to be true, or whether it's something that is collaborated with like other people, an agreement of some sort, that something many people agree on, therefore it is a fact, or it's true. In general, to me, it is something, or knowledge is something that, first of all, I believe it's true, and something that has repeatedly shown itself in practice to work and to be real, especially when we speak about magic and in general spiritual topics. If we apply it to like the worldly concept of everything, then we can get into a very, very philosophical debate
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on the nature of everything.
I believe that we will at some point get into some philosophical chat anyway today, if we will be delving to the questions that we prepared here for ourselves today. And I would mention knowledge also a little bit from the femme occult perspective now, which is that for this year we chose the magical pyramid to go through the quarters, and the knowledge is the first one that we decided to cover, since it's connected to the element of air, and that was the first element that we were covering last year when we were going through the year of elements. So the topics of this year are covering the pyramid and knowledge. I was thinking why the knowledge is actually first. Because it's usually first. We were really doing loads of research and going through loads of our thoughts and feelings and discussion and debates as well on how will we actually create the whole year kind of bundle of the topics, and how will they follow each other, and to what elements will they be connected. And yeah, knowledge simply is quite often connected to the air because of the learning and writing, and this kind of airy abilities or correspondences are connected to that. And it's quite often, hi koťátko.
Hello.
And it's quite often the first one that you need when you are starting the working with magical pyramid. So I was thinking, why knowledge is first? Why not, for example, feeling or the will, or that you want something, so and so on. And to me, I believe that you need to have some kind of understanding what it is what you want, what tools you have, and to educate yourself a little bit on how to actually work magic to be able to perform it. So maybe the knowledge might be hidden in this. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. And now that you have spoken, I think that my first answer was very, very nondescript. But I agree that knowledge forms a sort of a ladder or a map or a roadmap of what is possible, and gives you an idea of where you can go, what you can learn, and therefore it gives you mm, the encouragement for the first steps in anything. So you first have to know what to put your will, courage, and then silence toward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Having the other three without having the knowledge is not impossible, but it would be extremely difficult, to the point that it is impossible to have courage but no knowledge on anything, basically, not even on yourself, which is the first thing that one must get to know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have here, Koťátko is writing us, I've been working with energy only for years, and now with your books, I'm able to use more stuff to understand candles, crystal. I get more into herbs. I love it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's very lovely. And yeah, working with the energy, that's the thing. I believe that everyone can feel their own energy and feel their own magic and work with it. But knowledge is somehow necessary to grasp it, to understand it, to be able to modelize it, form it.
At the very least, even if we discount knowledge on sources or like external things, you must have a knowledge of yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
when I write, I always tend to stress that the first thing you have to know or get to know as much as possible is yourself, and get to know where you begin and where you end, what you want, what makes you tick in general. And that's also knowledge. It is feeling, but then again, it is knowledge because it's knowledge of yourself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And from knowledge of yourself, you can continue towards knowledge of your goal. Because if you don't know what you want, it's hard to go for it. It's hard to work on it. Yeah, definitely. There are those two types of knowledge needed to start the working on the magical pyramid, which is knowledge of yourself and maybe knowledge of other things. And I believe that when you have knowledge of different books and different authors, different points of view, and even different UPGs, personal gnosis, that can help you to kind of sort it in yourself. What is actually making sense to you, what you want to use, and you can, because of I'm eclectic, so I'm totally talking from that point of view, where you are basically taking from each source what is working best for you. And the more you know, the wider space you have to pick the flowers that you want to work with.
True. I'm not eclectic. I usually tend to stick to either a tradition or a path, and really go for it. But from the perspective of what you're saying, I also like to study a lot in like diverse directions, because many techniques and many traditions and paths work with basically the same thing. When you do rituals in like Norse magic, uh, what you are doing is basically just using different tools to accomplish the same goal. Basically, magic. You cannot. I'm not going to say you cannot, but magic just works on its own, and you just use different keys to unlock it. More on that in the upcoming issue. But basically each tradition is doing the same thing, just in different ways. And when you understand what they are doing, it's easier for you to apply it to your own path and to your own tradition, and to get a deeper understanding on how the universe functions itself.
Mm-hmm. And when you have a knowledge of more of the approaches, you can compare them and you can see what is actually kind of the same line and what worked for everybody.
Yes.
I have here several like dichotomies or several dualities that are, based on my opinion, connected to knowledge. And that's learning versus experience is the first one that I have here. What do you think? What is more important? Even though, like, I can't really say which one is more important. How long should somebody maybe build the knowledge before they will jump into gaining knowledge through experience?
Well, that's a difficult question. I think it comes hand to hand. It's the same thing as reading a cookbook,
Mm-hmm.
but not cooking, and the same thing as cooking without actually reading the science behind the chemistry of cooking itself. I think it should come hand to hand. When you learn a technique and you try it
Mm-hmm.
basically immediately, and do both in a balance, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because the experience can give you new insights into the learning or into the knowledge, and the knowledge can then give you new insights into your experience and into your practice.
Mm-hmm. And as long as you don't try the knowledge that you gained, you don't really know if it works. We have here another comment, but then I would like to get back to this. I think it really depends on a person, because somebody learns slower, somebody learns faster. It is really individual. Yeah, indeed. indeed. That's surely individual. And if somebody needs to learn for a little bit longer, to just feel sure, to just feel safe during practicing magic, during performing rituals, then definitely knowledge can be the base that can be always built. Even when we are going to another steps, we always have to continue building the knowledge, based on my opinion. But to stick with just the knowledge for too long can lead you to become an armchair magician. And for that, we are actually creating our ritual packages. And
yeah, it's something that I'm on the verge of constantly, because I tend to, especially since we've been making Femacult, I tend to study more than practice, which is, it's great. There is nothing wrong with being an armchair magician, but sometimes you can hit a wall where you are not secure enough in yourself to actually go into practice, because then you feel that you should learn even more, and you should learn even more, and that the more you know that you know very little.
yeah.
And it gets into a vicious circle. And to from my side, respond to the comment, of course everybody has different speeds, and some people learn better when they apply experience right away. Some people need a little bit more time, which is fine, and everybody has to find their own balance between learning and application. But I think there always should be a give and take of both, that you learn and you apply. You learn some more and you apply some more. How much each of these components are used is up to the individual, but there should always be some sort of balance that is convenient or and comfortable for each individual.
Yeah, Koťátko is texting. The more you know, you know so little. That's so true. Yeah, indeed. I think that that can at some point kind of discourage you to perform or to make a step further. And I think that then it's connected with the second part, or with the part that we chose as a second side of the pyramid, which is courage. But we will be talking about that one at some point in the future, I believe. So we can't totally spoil it now. But then I have here another kind of different types of knowledge and gaining it. And about gaining knowledge, not only learning versus experience, but also memorizing versus understanding. And I'd say that everybody would say straight away from the scratch, like, oh yeah, it's really important to understand before you are practicing, or that understanding is the main thing. On the other hand, there's plenty of things that we as witches and magicians are memorizing to create the ritual, to have it in this kind of structure, especially in ceremonial rituals, in Wiccan rituals, in the rituals where you are calling the quarters and the quarterly towers, flags, and this kind of things. All pentagrams and all these things are also connected to memorizing. So I believe that knowledge can include also these things, that when you are able to have these texts in your head, or either you are memorizing them, or you are understanding the quarter that you are calling to or calling upon, or the deity or so well, you have enough knowledge to create it straight away on the place, the calling that is quite connected and really having the essence of what you want to actually call based on the knowledge. That when you have these, you have this base knowledge to be able to perform.
Yes. Again, I agree with you on everything, but there is much more to be actually discussed within the dichotomy of memory versus understanding, because yes, it is important to understand what you are doing, why you are doing it. But then again, there would be people, and I would perhaps count among them, who will tell you that, especially in rituals that are very traditional and very
Mhm.
like used for centuries, like I don't know, lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, or many others, especially in like lesser keys of Solomon.
Mhm.
It's not important for you to understand what you're doing. You just have to do it precisely the way it was prescribed, and the magic will work anyway.
Mhm.
And it's a bigger problem of changing those rituals than actually not understanding what you are doing, what you're meaning. Especially in ceremonial magic and in high magic in general, you will find a lot of Latin incantations, Hebrew incantations, and many others, which you may understand if you know the language, but it's not a prerequisite. It's not a prerequisite for you to understand what you are saying. It is important for you to say exactly from memory, or
Mhm.
even read it, what is prescribed. The same thing goes for Enochian magic, where again, I don't know. I personally don't know a person who speaks Enochian
Mhm.
fluently, and many Enochian scholars even disagree on pronunciations. But everybody agrees that as long as you like say the words that are prescribed, regardless of
Mhm.
how you pronounce them, and you say them correctly, it will work.
This is really like crazily interesting to me because of in this that's exactly the philosophical discussion that I hoped that we will get into at some point, that there will be some threat that we will have a bit different experience exactly because of your path and your abilities and knowledge about the ceremonial magic and Enochian magic versus my way, which is quite often exactly that kind of, I read in several books information on this deity, and with that information, with that knowledge, I go to the ritual and I just create the calling right in there. So to me now it's important a question. When you don't know what you're exactly saying, do you at least have a knowledge like what does it translate to? Like what does it mean, the formula, or at least what is the ritual supposed to bring?
Well, with practice, you gain that understanding, and of course, if you are saying a formula, you should know what you're actually saying. My argument is not that you shouldn't know it. My argument is that even if you didn't know it, it would still work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Question is, if you didn't know what you were saying, will it work the way you want it to?
Yeah.
Of course you should understand what you're saying, and especially if you're doing complicated rituals, then by all means, at least find a translation of what you're
Mm-hmm,
calling.
mm-hmm.
And in many books, you will find that translation. But the point is, even if you didn't know, that doesn't stop the magic from working. And I don't know if it's because it's so ingrained in a
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah,
collective subconscious, or whether it's, or maybe that's what I believe too. Maybe it's just the entities that you're working with respond to that kind of language regardless of whether you understand it or not. For example, if you were to talk with a foreigner in a
mm-hmm,
language you didn't understand, but you had a sentence written out,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
if you read it, the foreigner probably will understand what you're saying and will respond to it regardless of whether you understand what you had said.
Exactly, word by word.
Yeah.
This is absolutely fascinating to me. That's that's just quite cool because from my experience, from the way I'm working with natural spirits and this kind of things, and the elements and so on, I've been to the ritual where we've got some kind of confusion, and the girl who was supposed to call upon the earth element was basically including water stuff into the earth, and it just didn't work.
Hmm.
Just like nothing happened. And from your perspective, there's an option that that it will still work, and maybe even correctly, even.
Well, not if you don't do what's prescribed, because if
Mhm,
you're calling the earth and you
mhm,
actually include some other elements, then you are at the very least mixing two different energies and creating a short circuit
mhm, mhm.
in the magic. So it wouldn't work. unless it's some sort of calling that works with that kind of energy. For example, I don't know, I can imagine that in some rituals you would call the elements into in a way that at the end of the calling everything would balance,
Hmm.
so that the tangled energies that you create will untangle by the design of the ritual. But that's very complicated, and it's needlessly complicated if you can just call each element separately.
Hmm. Yeah, indeed. Oh. Yeah, well, this is definitely something that, that I will continue thinking on. It's quite
But
cool.
again, I have also experience with creating my own rituals, especially in low magic or like in the everyday to day kind of ritual. Nobody summons, I don't know, demons if they want, I don't know, to find
Clean the
20.
kitchen.
Yeah, yeah, for example. Or to find the motivation to clean the kitchen every day.
Mhm.
So in in other types of magic, this organic creation of the ritual is completely fine. And there you need the understanding of what you're actually doing to be able to apply the understanding to the creation of the ritual itself.
Mhm, mhm. I would like to thank Koťátko for a follow. If you are here with us in the chat room, don't hesitate to text us. You can ask us as well anything around femme occult and our experience with magic, witchcraft, and occultism, and with knowledge, with the topic of knowledge that we are going through today. Maybe we could slowly move to some different topic because of as I said, I have like stuff to think about quite a lot now in my head from the previous chat or what we were talking about till now. So we have here also some things which basically imprinted the knowledge into our first spring issue, except of that I've prepared there some kind of correspondences that are connected to this part of the pyramid. We were also writing about different ways of knowledge and different parts of knowledge and of magical energies, let's say, in antique Greece and in Kabbalah and in these new different spaces where we were not that much present last year, because of last year we didn't have our two new lovely seedlings who are writing for us about those. So everyone who already pre-ordered the spring issue can be looking forward to this. And you were writing an amazing article on UPG, so would you like to tell us a little bit about that? Don't spoil everything, but tell us plenty.
No, I will try not to spoil anything. Uh, in spirituality and generally in practice, we come across the term of UPG, which is unverified or unverifiable personal gnosis, which is an important part of every practice. It is knowledge or understanding that you gain by your own practice, which is either unattested elsewhere or can be even contradictory to experiences of other authors or and other sources. Uh, for example, everybody or like general consensus is that rose is associated with like gentle, tender love. But for example, based on your UPG, you can use rose color for, I don't know, hexing people or something. Uh, it doesn't matter that because you do it differently, it's wrong, or not doesn't matter, but it doesn't mean that if you're doing it differently, it is wrong. It is just your personal, unverified gnosis or knowledge or experience that you're using in your practice. Uh, Generally, it's how it is. Everybody gets their own bouts of eureka moments, and now I understand, or I think this is correct, or this is true, and it's fine to work with it, but also it is advisable, let's say, to try and find collaborating sources to really underline the
Mhm.
fact that you have an understanding of the universe that maybe some other people have not grasped. And I see a comment here.
Mhm.
I can't wait for the spring issue. I forgot to look at what's in the spring packet, so I have a surprise for me. Well, if you'd like, we can tell you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. As well, Koťátko, if you already purchased or if you already have any of our previous issues, just let us know. Okay, just let us know. What do you like the most? What are your favorite topics? Or okay. Okay, yeah. So Koťátko doesn't want to know what's in the spiritual spring ritual packet, so we will not we will not spoil it in this stream. And yeah, she has all of them. That's amazing. Thank you very much. That's very lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely let us know what you're enjoying. What are your favorite topics since you are here with us today? Okay, yeah. What else do we have there in our spring issue? I will point at another of your articles if it's okay with you, and then I will jump to. Or okay, I will point at your article. I will just let you prepare a little bit, and I will talk a little bit about one of mine. So you were writing a really, really lovely article on stimulating herbs, and those are also connected in a way with knowledge. And I was continuing in the stories that are connected to tarot cards, because last year I was writing about the tarot queens from the court cards, and I always wrote it as a little story, and girls just enjoyed it, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna write any more stories next year. And they were like, oh no, we want it. And I was like, okay, I will try, and I shall see. And with the King of Swords, that is the first king which is in the spring issue, and this year the kings will be walking with us the path of the pyramid. I figured that yeah I want to continue actually with the stories. Hopefully next year's or following years also with the stories of the rest of the court cards, but I would be too much in the future with this. And yeah, the King of Swords is as well, from my point of view, quite connected to knowledge. In general, the cards connected to swords, mostly also to the element of air, are quite rational, quite using the reason, sometimes even a little bit emotionally called, and really focused on that part of rather maybe knowledge than wisdom. We could maybe talk about this as well, about kind of the slight difference between these two words. Even though we are not native English speakers, I can feel there the going from the knowledge to gain the wisdom at some point somewhere. Yeah. And yeah, when I was attuning to the King of Swords and kind of trying to think of how could he be going through his normal common day, I felt there really quite a lot that rationality, that focus on the knowledge before he does something, that he likes to know things. So connected to that will be also my tarot article, of course. Yeah, and now we can delve into the stimulating herbs, because herbs are the huge part of our creation.
Well, in Czech I call myself Jedu Baba. I don't think how to translate it in English.
In English, it would be so cute. It would be poison granny. It's just so tender. In Czech, it's like Jedu Baba.
Yeah. I think it's more like poison hag in English.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That would be more matching indeed.
Well, last year I had a big problem with the fact that I had to choose one plant and then write about it in extensively. Not I didn't have a problem with having to write about it extensively, but just with the fact that you have to like choose, and it's a Sophie's choice in a way.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit less dramatic, but it's a Sophie's choice because there are so many interesting plants. And then in winter I decided to take it to a little bit more broader spectrum of plants, and actually choose plants that are in some way very connected to each other, either magically or by their effects. And this spring we have stimulating plants. Among them are coffee, of course, cocoa, cinnamon, and all these kind of. Some of them are very fiery, to be honest, not very airy, but the effects on the body are usually very invigorating, very concentration promoting. So there are plants which would very much help with the attainment of knowledge and with study in general. And many people have their exam season now, especially in the early or in the beginning of the year. So I thought it would be very much to the point. And in the next issues, we will then delve into different kind of herbs that are in the category that harmonizes with the broader topic of the issue.
And
didn't spoil anything.
Okay, you could spoil us. Were there any other herbs that you wanted to include? Now you didn't present all of them that are in the issue, but was it still quite a task to choose which ones will be the ones, or are they really those that are like highlighted in this stimulating abilities?
That is a spoilery question.
Okay.
No, but I can perhaps spoil a little. Partly it was easy because I knew I wanted to do cacao and coffee, but the rest was more or less chosen. The rest except nutmeg was chosen because those plants will be a part of my upcoming project. And even coffee and cacao will then be a part of an upcoming project, maybe, perhaps. And so there's two ways of deciding, and that is that I would like to present certain kinds of plants, and then that other kinds of plants are very much into the topic that we're delving into.
Okay, I will not spoil more, and I will not push more to you to spoil more. And since we are by herbs, I think that I could just show here a little bit of from one of our articles that actually our third main plant wrote on herbs for our Liber Magicae, for our last year's complete creation. And to this article, she's actually continuing with the hermetical take on correspondences of herbs. And she's basically advising on how to figure yourself what kind of planet or the element or the color is connected to different plants, and how can you use them in your practice. And I think that this is that kind of knowledge that is already pointing towards the experience and gaining wisdom through that. That it's not just like that you have the carrot and you see that there's this kind of sign of the sun, let's say, and you'll be like, okay, so the carrot means the sun, and I will be using it only in the day because in the day the sun is shining. But that you will actually like taste the carrot, you will chew it, you will feel how does it feel, and you will figure that it might have also different properties, and also connected maybe with your UPG, and also connected it with cross-checking the different sources, and then create your own path and your own working system based on that. So I believe that this is as well that kind of line of knowledge which is well balanced between learning from books and also going a little bit with your intuition, which is another part of our topics here, knowledge versus intuition. And I will just read the comment from Koťátko here. I hope actually that I'm pronouncing your your name correctly, because I'm pronouncing it in a very Czech way. Okay. She's writing, I love the herbs. I love all those articles about herbs. They go so deep and I love to learn more about them. You can include even herb that we wouldn't be able to get in Czechia, but I would still buy it. Okay.
Well, I will respond to the second part of the comment, and it's very unlikely that I personally will write about an herb that I cannot get my hands on because I before I write with the herb, I don't write with them. I write about them. Before I write about them, I like to have an experience with them,
Mhm.
either uh, by working with them magically or even actually growing them in my home for at least some time to get to know the plant. So everything that I include will be in some form accessible in the Czech Republic. And if not, I usually try to include seeds of some of the plants that we talk about so that even if you kind of cannot find it outside somewhere, you will be able to at least sprout it and get to know it in person anyway.
Mhm. Okay, I will just continue reading here the comments, and then I have here a request from from the next room, from the baby, if we could take a little break, or if we could slowly maybe wrap it up, because basically we went through all the topics that I have here noted. So I will read the comments, and meanwhile, if you can decide. So Koťátko is texting, I'm allergic to carrots and I don't like sunlight. Guess this means something. Yeah, maybe there is a connection, because I'm actually not a plant witch in comparison to my colleagues. But yeah, there is actually the sun. I got it right because I was thinking of the carrot. When you chop it, that you can see the circle and the dot inside, and that's the sun sign. So I actually used exactly the Roda's way how to think about things, and gets the sun. Okay, and she's writing, I'm Czech fan. Okay, I was just not sure if I can type in Czech. Well, yeah, you can, even when we have an English stream, you can of course text us in Czech language, but it might take us a little bit to translate it, because we are trying to kind of switch our head to English language, and it might confuse us a little bit, or that we might translate it not exactly as you wanted it. Okay, so Datura, what do you think? Do you think that our today's stream could be just this lovely half hour, or would you have any other ideas on knowledge that you would
Well,
like
it's
to share?
actually been like 45 minutes if you include my absence. No, I think we have talked about everything that we wanted to. I think surprisingly we have covered the ingraspable topic of knowledge quite broadly. So
Yeah.
unless there are any questions, I think we could probably slowly wrap it up, and you can go take care of my best friend.
Yeah, I will gladly go to cuddle our little one. And yeah, I will just mention one last topic that is quite connected to knowledge from my point of view, and that I was writing about it, and that was our little experiment on telepathy. So that's something that people can be looking forward as well in our future issue. But yeah, let's finish it up, because of I'm called away. And have a lovely evening, everyone. You can reach this stream as well on our YouTube channel, which is Fem Occult, and you will find there all the links on our website, socials, and everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was so much fun. Thank you for all the comments and for the engagement and talking to us. And thank you for not noticing that I'm so nervous.
That makes two of us. As always. Yeah. Okay, yeah, super. So Koťátko says, okay, have a nice evening, ladies. And John Gord, who was here from the very beginning, says bye. Okay, so thank you very much
Bye,
for
John.
joining us. Have a lovely time. Bye.